My name is Bert, and this is the Still Life Podcast. Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 4 of the Still Life Podcast. Today, I want to talk about my son. This is a totally impromptu subject, not what I was planning on talking about today, but I'm going to talk about him for a little while anyway. So he's a year and a half, give or take. He'll be 2 in August of this year. We were just eating lunch. I literally watched him shove as much hot dog in his mouth as he could possibly cram in there, look me dead in the eye, and then puke it all over himself and the kitchen table. I really just don't even know what to do with this kid. He is something else. Now, I've got 2 daughters, 16 and 4, and they've been, for the most part, pretty easy. But my son is quite literally a completely different animal. His lunchtime activity is just one of many, many unique behaviors that I have yet to see in raising a child. So a couple weeks ago, I took he and my 4-year-old fishing out at one of our favorite fishing spots. And it had rained a little bit, so the water was a little high. We put on some water shoes. I knew we were going to get wet and probably a little muddy. So we're standing there fishing, and he kind of walks to the edge of the water, and I'm like, all right, buddy, well, stay there. Don't go any further. And what does he do? He continues to walk into the water to the ledge where the actual pond starts and went for a swim. So, of course, I got to go for a swim, too. This kid has no fear of anything and also isn't the best listener sometimes. So he got to run around with no clothes on for a little while, and then we went home and got straight in the bathtub. That's one of those things I never would have had to worry about, and never really did worry about with either of the girls. They both listened very well, and they had a healthy respect for whatever it was when I told them no or stop or be careful. Another oddity that I've experienced with this kid, this morning he was playing with the rocking horse, was dragging it around the living room, and he put it about 12 to 16 inches from the wall. The horse is facing the wall. He gets on the horse, leans back, rocks forward, comes within about an inch of face planting on the wall, looks over at me sitting on the couch, and bashes his head into the wall, and then proceeds to lick the wall. Don't know why. Don't know what was going on in his head at the time. I have no explanation for it. Again, something I never saw with my girls, just with my son. This kid is really something else. Now, I will say on the flip side here, he is very affectionate, loves to give hugs, loves to tell people hi. He's very sweet. But he is an oddball a lot of the time. Super goofy, and he's something else. Full of surprises, for sure. So, another story. About 3 weeks ago, I went into the bedroom to get him up, get him ready for the day. I go in, and he's one of those kids, as soon as he hears the door open, he's instantly awake. There's like no lag time, no kind of like, oh, groggy, I'm waking up. He's just up. And he's ready to go. And he stands up, and he's got his shirt, he's pulled his head out of his shirt, and he's got, like, his arms are still in it, and it's, like, strapped across his back. I don't know how he managed to do that, and so I get him up and just let him kind of run around. So he's running around with his shirt like this, like it's no big deal, like it was meant to be worn that way. Again, I never have seen this with either of my girls. Completely new behavior for me to witness. I know I was a knucklehead, as a kid growing up. I did some really goofy things. Obviously, I can't remember much of what I did in my youth. I'm sure my parents have tons of stories that they would probably love to share. However, I have no recollection of ever doing anything like this, and like I said, it's something I've never seen with my girls. So this is entirely new experience for me. And one of his favorite things to do, whether we're at the park or in the yard or wherever it is, the driveway, he loves picking up handfuls of rocks, dirt, or like mulch or wood chips. He'll pick up handfuls, 2 big handfuls, and just throw them into the air, almost like the LeBron chalk thing that LeBron does pregame. And he just says, woo, and there's just rocks and dirt and debris fly everywhere. And he'll just do it over and over and over and over and over again, just ad nauseum. And again, I can't explain it. I have no words for it. But, I mean, he's happy as a clam, so I guess there's no harm in it for now until he throws rocks onto my car. That'll be a different story for another day. But, yeah, it's just one of the strangest things I've ever witnessed. What I will say, though, is that kind of looking at more of his sweeter side, he absolutely loves our dog. We've got a 3-legged pit, and he's old. He's 12, somewhere between like 12 and 15 years old. He was a rescue, and he just is in love with this dog. He will sit on Captain. He'll lay on him. He gives him hugs and kisses all the time. Captain is his best buddy, without question. Just the amount of attention, I say attention, that he gives this dog. I'm sure there are times when Captain gets annoyed, but he's an absolute saint. And really, he's getting attention, period. So I don't think he really seems to care. This morning, Captain was laying in the living room. Cash just hopped right on him and is sitting there just reading a book, sitting on the dog. And, Captain's wagging his tail, just loving the attention that he gets from his buddy. So they are best buds. It's sweet. Like I said, the kid loves hugs. He loves giving hugs. A very affectionate kid, except when it's bedtime. And of course, everything is off limits when it's bedtime. No hugs, no kisses, no nothing, because he doesn't want to go to bed, like any kid. But anyway, just wanted to share some fun, quick stories with you guys. The incident at the table here at lunch is kind of what prompted me to discuss this today. But I thought it would be kind of fun, tell some stories about the kids and just have a little fun with it. So, guys, I want to thank you for joining me today on the Still Life podcast. I appreciate you all taking time out of your day to spend listening to me. As always, if you have questions, comments, topic ideas, suggestions, or would like to inquire about sponsoring the podcast, you can email me, thestilllifepodcast@gmail.com. That's thestilllifepodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again for joining me today on the Still Life Podcast. I hope you all have a great afternoon, and we'll talk again soon.